Okay, let's unpack this. What if something like a floodlight, something you probably don't think much about, could actually tell us a really fascinating story about, well, where the world's heading?
Hmm.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into the global floodlighting market.
Right?
We've got this detailed report here from Cognitive Market Research, and our mission, really, is to pull out the key insights. We want to understand the growth, the regional differences.
And what it all means, right? What does this one market tell us about bigger global trends?
Exactly. What's the bigger picture story here? So let's start with that big picture. This market, it's not just ticking along, it's really taken off.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
Globally, floodlighting was worth roughly, let's see, $7.1 billion back in 2021.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. It's projected to climb all the way to nearly $15 billion by 2033.
Wow, so more than double.
Yeah, that's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR of about 6.4%. That's, pretty solid momentum for floodlights.
It really is. And what's fascinating is why this is happening. It's not random, right?
It's being fueled by some really clear global shifts.
Mm.
You've got increasing urbanization, more cities, bigger cities.
Mm-hmm.
You've got rising infrastructure investments pretty much everywhere. And crucially, there's this big transition to energy-efficient lighting.
Ah, the LEDs?
Exactly. LED floodlights are, they're just leading the charge. They're brighter, they last way longer, and they use much less electricity. It's a game changer.
And it's not just about efficiency, is it? The source also talks about smart lighting systems. That seems like a big piece of the puzzle, too.
Absolutely. Smart lighting adds another layer. Think lights that can be dimmed automatically or programmed for specific times or even, respond to movement.
Is energy improve safety?
Precisely. And then you also have governments stepping in, actively pushing for better, more efficient lighting for safety and energy-saving reasons. It all ties together.
Okay, so that's the why. Now,
Mm.
where is this happening? This is where it gets really interesting, I think, looking at the map.
Yeah, the regional breakdown tells a very dynamic story. So where's the hotspot?
Well, if you look at the overall picture, Asia Pacific is just dominant. It holds the largest market share by a pretty wide margin.
Okay.
We're talking about a value going from about $2.8 billion in 2021 to over $6.1 billion projected for 2033.
That's huge growth.
It is, and that comes with a strong growth rate too, nearly 6.8% annually. It really reflects the sheer scale of development happening there.
And within Asia Pacific, China and Japan must be massive players,
Well,
right?
absolutely. Given their scale, they're huge drivers. But what's interesting? India actually shows the highest growth rate in the region, over 7.5% annually.
Wow, 7.5%. Why so high in India?
It seems to be linked to just immense infrastructure projects, rapid urban growth, and also specific government programs like their Smart Cities mission.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of initiative requires a lot of modern lighting.
Makes sense. It's not just the big players either.
No, definitely not. Southeast Asia, places like Singapore too, they're showing really robust growth, also over 7%. It points to a broader commitment across the region to upgrade infrastructure, enhance outdoor lighting for public spaces, commercial areas. It's about modernization.
Okay, so Asia Pacific is clearly leading the pack in terms of scale and, in some places, speed. What about the more established markets, like North America?
Right. North America holds a very significant share, definitely. Though the growth is a bit steadier, maybe not quite as explosive,
Okay.
its value is still expected to basically double, going from around $2 billion in 2021 to just over $4 billion by 2033. That's a growth rate of nearly 5.8% per year. Still very healthy.
And within North America, is it mostly the U.S.?
Yeah, the U.S. is the largest piece of that pie, growing steadily around 5.5%. But Canada and Mexico are contributing too. Their growth seems tied to, again, public safety upgrades, lighting for commercial buildings, and those smart city projects we mentioned, making cities more efficient.
Okay. And Europe. Similar story to North America.
Pretty similar, yeah. Another mature market expanding nicely. It goes from about $1.3 billion in 2021 to over $2.6 billion by 2033. The growth rate there is about 5.9%, so very close to North America's.
Any standouts within Europe?
Well, the big economies like Germany, France, Italy, the UK are key, of course. But France actually shows a bit stronger growth, around 6.7%.
Interesting. Any idea why?
It likely ties into more aggressive national policies pushing for energy-efficient lighting and public infrastructure. France has been quite proactive with sustainability programs.
I see.
You do see slightly slower growth in parts of Eastern Europe and some smaller markets like Luxembourg or Denmark. It just reflects maybe different priorities or stages of infrastructure upgrades right now.
Got it. Okay, so established markets are growing steadily. Let's talk emerging markets now. South America.
South America is definitely one to watch. It's emerging as a pretty significant player. The market value there is set to more than double from just under $500 million in 2021 to over $1.1 billion by 2033.
And who's leading the charge there?
Brazil, Argentina, Colombia are the main ones. But Argentina really stands out with an impressive growth rate, almost 7.9%.
Nearly 8%. What's driving that in Argentina?
It seems directly connected to a rise in urban development projects and also significant upgrades to sports infrastructure. Think stadiums, arenas. They need high-performance floodlighting.
Ah, right. Makes sense. Okay, what about the Middle East?
The Middle East is expanding, but maybe at a more moderate pace overall, going from about $260 million in 2021 to predicted $480 million by 2033.
So slower growth generally.
Yeah, most countries in the region are showing growth below 6%, though you still see notable contributions from places like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Egypt.
Any bright spots within that?
The UAE actually shows some promising growth. It's likely tied to their big focus on smart infrastructure, plus the booming tourism and hospitality sectors. All those high-end hotels and attractions need sophisticated lighting, even if the wider region is maybe a bit more conservative in adoption.
Okay. Saving maybe the most surprising for last.
Yeah.
Africa. What's the story there?
Ah, yes. Africa. This is where the numbers get really eye-opening. Africa boasts the highest regional growth rate globally.
Get out. How high?
Over 10.1%.
10% CAGR for floodlights in Africa. That's remarkable.
It really is. We're talking expansion from about $135 million in 2021 to around $405 million by 2033.
Wow. What's fueling that incredible rate?
Nigeria and South Africa are definitely leading the charge. It's driven by some fundamental things. Crucial electrification project, just getting power to more people, plus rapid urban development and expanding commercial infrastructure.
So it's about basic development as much as upgrades.
Exactly. It's foundational. But here's maybe the most telling part. The segment labeled Rest of Africa, so beyond the biggest economies, shows an even higher growth rate, over 10.5%.
Really?
Yeah. It just signals massive untapped potential and really accelerating modernization efforts across the continent. It's like you can almost see the continent lighting up on the map. It's quite profound.
That is profound. So if we sort of pull back again and look at the whole picture.
Yeah, if you connect the dots, this whole deep dive into floodlighting, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? It shows how technology like LEDs, maybe solar power too in some cases, combined with infrastructure development, especially in these emerging economies, are just... well, they're universal drivers of change.
Yeah.
These aren't just market trends, they're reshaping how regions develop.
That's a great way to put it. And it feels like there are almost two speeds happening at once,
How do you mean?
Well, you've got the developed nations, North America, Europe. They're growing steadily, mostly by upgrading older systems, replacing what's there, keeping things modern.
Maintenance and efficiency upgrades.
But then you have the developing countries, Asia-Pacific, South America, and especially Africa, contributing this really dynamic growth through brand new installations, lighting up new areas, modernizing public spaces, transport hubs, stadiums, factories.
That's a really good distinction. Yeah, it's new builds versus upgrades, largely. Both contributing, but in different ways.
Converging to create this overall strong global growth.
Which does raise a big question, maybe for you listening. What does this specific market, something seemingly mundane like floodlighting, actually tell us about that bigger global push? The push for, energy efficiency, for safety, for modern, smarter cities.
It's like a little indicator light for global progress.
Exactly, a barometer.
So, as you can see, it might seem like just floodlights, but this market is actually a pretty powerful window into global progress, urbanization trends, and how quickly technology is being adopted everywhere. It's kind of a hidden story of development, literally lighting the way.
So maybe next time you're out and about, we encourage you to think about it. That deliberate choice of lighting, whether it's a huge stadium or just a street corner, it's not just about pushing back the dark, is it?
No.
It's really a fundamental piece of a country's development path. Its approach to safety, its commitment to being more energy efficient, more connected. So next time you see those bright lights, hopefully you'll see them with a bit of new insight into the bigger forces at play.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're shining a light, you could say, on floodlighting.
Right.
It's one of those things that's absolutely everywhere, but you probably just don't notice it most of the time.
Exactly. It blends into the background.
But it's actually critical, isn't it, for safety, for infrastructure, and it's changing fast, kind of mirroring bigger trends in technology and how we live.
It really is. So our goal today is to take this detailed report from Cognitive Market Research. It's called the Floodlighting Market: Drivers, Challenges, and Trends, and really pull out the key stuff for you.
Okay.
We want to get to the heart of what's pushing this market forward, what obstacles it's, bumping up against, and where things are heading.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, think of it. Stadium lights, parking lot security, even just lighting up a building facade nicely.
It's all floodlighting in one form or another, and the tech behind it is moving really quickly.
Okay, so let's dive in. What are the big forces, the drivers, making this market tick right now?
Well,
If there's like one core thing driving the floodlighting market, I guess it has to be the basic need for outdoor light for security, right? It just feels essential now. But what's really pushing that demand up lately? Is it just crime concerns?
that's a really good starting point. And yes, security is absolutely huge. Concerns about safety, surveillance, protecting property, that's fundamental.
Sure.
But it's broader than just stopping crime, It's also about making outdoor spaces usable for longer.
Ah, okay. Like extending the day.
Exactly. Think about parks after dark or sports fields, outdoor markets, even just making industrial areas feel safer for people working late shifts.
Right.
So it feeds into urban life, economic activity, not just surveillance, though, yeah, the two definitely go hand in hand quite often.
And that connects to the next point, doesn't it? This whole idea of safety and usability scales up as our cities get bigger.
Precisely. Which brings us to the second major driver. All this urbanization and infrastructure development happening globally.
Cities just keep growing.
They do. And governments, developers, they're investing huge amounts in public lighting. New roads, public squares, commercial zones, they all need illumination.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating here is how floodlighting is almost like a foundational piece for these smart city projects we hear about.
How so?
Yeah.
I usually think of sensors and data for smart cities.
Well, yeah, those are key parts too. But think about it. Good lighting directly affects how safe people feel, how they move around the city.
True.
So lighting up highways, public spaces, business districts, that creates a safer, more connected feeling, often before you even get to the complex data networks. It enables that flow.
That makes sense. But none of this growth, especially the efficiency part, would really be happening without the tech itself changing, right? I mean, those old halogen floodlights were intense.
Oh, absolutely. That's the third big driver. The technological leaps, especially with LED and increasingly solar power.
Yeah, LEDs are everywhere now.
It's a massive shift. Those old halogen or metal halide lamps were power hogs, needed frequent bulb changes, generated a lot of heat.
Right. High maintenance.
Very. LEDs, on the other hand, use way less power, last much, much longer, and need minimal upkeep. The cost savings over the lifetime are pretty significant.
And solar adds another layer, too.
It does. Solar-powered floodlights mean you can put effective lighting in places where running grid power would be difficult or just way too expensive.
Like remote areas.
Exactly. Remote industrial sites, rural communities, developing regions maybe. Even just temporary construction sites. It opens up possibilities for safety and, commerce where it wasn't feasible before. It really changes the game.
Okay, so we have strong demand, growing cities, and better technology. But it can't all be smooth sailing. There must be challenges, too.
Definitely. And some are maybe a bit surprising.
Yeah, like what? Here's where it gets interesting, maybe. You mentioned LEDs save money long term, but the report flags the upfront cost as a major barrier. That feels a bit counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it? But that initial investment, it can be pretty steep. While you absolutely save money on energy and maintenance down the line, buying and installing a whole new system, especially a large one, requires significant capital up front.
So who feels that pinch the most?
Well, smaller businesses maybe, operating on tighter budgets, or homeowners. Also, municipalities in developing regions, they might desperately need better lighting for safety, but just lack the immediate funds for a big rollout.
Right. It's that classic short-term cost versus long-term benefit challenge.
Precisely. It's a real hurdle to overcome, even when the long-term economics make perfect sense.
Okay, what else? The report mentions environmental concerns, light pollution specifically.
Yes, and this is becoming a much bigger deal.
We've all experienced it, right? That annoying glare from a neighbor's security light or trying to see stars in the city.
Exactly. But it's more than just an annoyance. This raises an important question about balancing our needs with protecting the natural environment.
Oh, so?
Well, poorly designed or aimed floodlighting creates sky glow, disrupts nocturnal wildlife, affects plant cycles, and it's a major problem for astronomical observatories, obviously. So there's growing push for better shielding, smarter controls, lower color temperatures maybe, and regulations to limit light trespass, especially near sensitive areas.
So finding that balance between safety and, well, darkness.
That's the challenge. Responsible lighting design is becoming crucial.
And then there's a practical issue, dealing with tough weather.
Right. Floodlights are, by definition, outdoors. They have to stand up to everything nature throws at them.
Sun, rain, snow, wind.
Extreme heat, freezing cold, salt spray in coastal areas, dust in arid regions. It all takes a toll.
So what does that mean for, say, a city managing thousands of these lights?
It means the lights need to be built tougher, often with specific IP ratings for water and dust resistance. They might need extra protective coatings or housings.
Which adds cost.
It adds costs, yeah. And it often means more frequent inspections and maintenance, especially in really harsh climates. So the total cost of ownership goes up. It's not just the purchase price, it's the ongoing effort to keep them operational.
Okay, challenges noted. But let's shift back to the future. What exciting trends are emerging? The market isn't standing still.
Not at all. It's actually really dynamic right now.
So first up is smart lighting and this whole IoT thing, the Internet of Things.
Yes, this is gaining serious momentum.
Explain that a bit. What does smart mean for a floodlight?
Okay, so instead of just being on or off, or maybe on a simple timer, these lights are connected, networked.
Right.
They can have sensors, motion detectors, ambient light sensors, so they only come on or maybe brighten up when needed.
Saving energy.
Big time. Plus, you can control them remotely. Imagine managing the lighting for an entire campus or city district from a central dashboard.
Wow.
You can schedule them precisely, dim them, get maintenance alerts if a unit fails. You can even integrate them into larger security systems or emergency response networks.
That's a huge leap from a basic switch. Much more efficient, much more control.
Absolutely. It's about intelligent management.
Okay, trend number 2. More solar power. We touched on this earlier, but it seems like it's really taking off.
It is. Its adoption is growing fast, not just for those off-grid places we mentioned, but increasingly in cities too.
Why the push now? Is it just cost?
Cost is part of it, as solar panel prices have come down, but it's also about energy independence and sustainability.
The green angle.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, using solar means less reliance on the grid, lower electricity bills, obviously, and a much smaller carbon footprint.
Makes sense.
For cities or businesses looking to meet sustainability goals or even just wanting more resilience against power outages, solar floodlighting is a very attractive option.
Yeah, seems like a no-brainer in many cases. And finally, the report mentions creative innovations in design. Floodlights aren't just big, clunky boxes anymore.
Not at all. This is actually a really interesting area. Functionality is still key, of course, but aesthetics are playing a much bigger role.
Like how?
We're seeing much sleeker fixtures, customizable designs, a huge range of beam angles so you can direct the light exactly where you want it without spill.
Precision lighting.
Yes. And adjustable color temperatures, too. You might want a warm, inviting light for, say, highlighting architecture or a park pathway.
Right.
But a cooler, crisper white light for a sports field or work area where visibility is paramount. The technology allows for that tailoring.
So they're becoming tools for architects and designers, too, not just engineers, merging utility and maybe even a bit of artistry.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think about beautifully lit monuments or landscape lighting that enhances a space rather than just blasting it with light. That versatility is a big trend.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've gone pretty deep into the floodlighting world today.
We have.
We've looked at the core drivers, that essential need for safety and usability, the push from growing cities, and the huge impact of LED and solar tech.
Right. Then we navigated some of the challenges, the upfront cost hurdle, the growing concern about light pollution, and the practicalities of weather resistance.
And finally, we peeked into the future. Smarter, connected lights, more solar power, and designs that are both functional and actually look good.
It really paints a picture of a market that's, well, glowing with potential, driven by efficiency and intelligence,
Yeah.
but also needing to carefully balance progress with those cost barriers and environmental responsibilities.
So you, listening in, you've basically got the inside track now on a technology that's quietly shaping so much of our environment.
It's a field where innovation and efficiency is meeting concerns about cost and the environment head on.
Which leaves us with a final thought, I guess. As these technologies evolve, how will that balance play out? The balance between public safety, urban growth, and environmental care, especially around light pollution. What's that going to mean for the places you live, work, and play in the future?
Something to think about next time you notice those bright lights after dark.